Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome to the Ninja Warrior podcast. Tonight, we're going to be covering Stage 1 of ANW 15.
Oh, man, we have some very interesting stuff to talk about today. We're going to talk about Vegas, and honestly, I'm really pissed. I don't think I've gotten any more mad about Ninja until now.
That's how bad this was for you?
Yes!
I'm on the same boat, too. Don't get me wrong.
Well, you better be. This Vegas, I don't think this Vegas sucks, but I absolutely do think that the rules are bullshit.
Yeah, some ground rules here. What we are doing today, we are covering both episodes of Stage 1, so it's going to be a very long episode. I don't even know how long this is going to be.
Yeah, they're both 2-hour-long episodes, so they're both hour and a half long, so we're gonna see how these go. But yeah, that's genuinely what we're doing today, just talking about Stage 1, just giving some general opinions about this, and yeah, like we usually do, we're talking about its obstacles, the ones, all that stuff.
Yeah, and just to note, the next episode will be covering solely Stage 2. So the 44 minutes they talk about Stage 2 in the next episode. And then the episode afterwards of this podcast, we are hopping into Stages 3 and 4 and talking about those, which will include the finale. And after that, we'll probably be taking at least 2 weeks off from actually doing work for the show. And then we'll work on getting some Stage 5 Ninja Awards stuff, and probably within a month from there, we'll hop into the Stage 5 Ninja Awards and at least announce the nominees for you guys. And then, however long it takes you to do the tribute video, we'll hop into the actual awards, which, that's gonna set us for a while.
Yeah.
One thing I do want to say is that sometime during that time frame, I recently recorded the Stage 2 National Finals retrospective video that you guys have been waiting on since January. So, depending on when I'm able to get that edited, you guys will be able to see that really soon. And I'm honestly pretty excited about that one because, again, I've been really wanting to make, get the next part of that series out. And depending on when I'm able to get the chance to edit it and chop it down and whatnot, you guys will be seeing that within the next couple of months or so. So, know that that's coming as well.
Yeah, so, who wants to start this? What are we starting with?
I think we should start with Stage 1's obstacles.
Okay, we're not going there quite yet. Alright. Stage 1's obstacles. This remained very similar to last season with a few changes. We have Slide Surfer, Flaming Surface, Giant Roller Coaster, and the Jumping Spider all remaining in the same spots with the same rules as last season. And, yeah, I do feel like 2 of these obstacles should have been changed.
Yeah, this Slide Surfer is so fucking easy. I don't know why this thing has stayed on for 3 seasons. Congratulations to it. Congratulations to it, because it's not a good obstacle.
Thank you. It just doesn't do much. I'm pretty sure no one fell on it this season. I don't think we saw anyone fall on it. Correct me if I'm wrong, future me when I'm editing this, but I don't think anyone fell on it. Honestly, I don't think so.
Yeah, Flaming Circus is also an obstacle that's still a little too much for me, but it's fine. It grabs a couple ninjas this season, so it's fine. Giant Roller Coaster just feels like a downgrade double dipper, and Jumping Spider should definitely be gone by this point, but I am convinced that it will never leave, ever, because they just don't know what else to put there.
Yeah, and I don't know what else to put there either, but I also just am tired of it at this point, so yeah, I think we're able to move on.
Yeah, so now we got the new obstacle, the Gambler. Thoughts?
Okay, I'm in between liking this and thinking it's too much. I hate all the decorations on it and the name, but I think the obstacle actually kind of suits the position on Stage 1, and is actually quite difficult.
Yeah, I think I'm generally in between on it. I like it. You know that we don't really like overly stylistic obstacles, and this season loves that. This season seems to love that, and this is an example. But honestly, I don't think this is a bad one either. I think this is honestly one of the better ones. It's a difficult obstacle. I think it's harder than Tile 1. I think it's a way better replacement for it than tetherball was.
Yeah, tetherball was so unnatural. And kind of just forced in there. This actually just feel like it has a place on the course, and that's nice.
Yeah, after that we got the warp wall and then dipping birds, but there was no high road this season, which kind of threw me off. I thought that'd be a staple of stage one for years to come.
Yeah, it kind of feels like it's missing now. Like, honestly, I would stay on, like, forever. I thought that'd be a good choice. I honestly think that would have been a great choice. I love the high road. I thought it was a great way to get some competitors an easier way to finish the course, especially if they're not waiting on time. And this thing, and the high road would have definitely helped some ninjas who ended up timing out.
Yeah, timing out doesn't really mean much. We'll get there. We'll fucking get there, people. But just going off it, like, I feel like the high road was only removed because of that rule.
Yeah. It kind of evens it out, but I would have loved to see the high road return. But it's fine and everything. It's just a minor nitpick. Not because of the shit we're about to say in a bit. Then we get the last obstacle, which was changed from the fly hooks to thread the needle. Probably my favorite obstacle in this position ever seen.
Yeah, actually, I don't think it. Yeah, actually, it actually is a really good obstacle where you have to put a cane into a wing, and it's really particular. It's really precise. The cane is a narrow grip, so you could easily lose it. It kind of just feels like it's a good fusion between a good evolution of the fly hooks, and I think it's a way better obstacle too.
Oh yeah, for sure, definitely. Like, honestly, fly hooks felt like it was kind of just there. There was nothing wrong with it. I just didn't really like it all that much, and I couldn't really understand why. This I really do like though. I think it's fun, a good way to end the course. And the time limit is 170 seconds. It's over 2 minutes and 50 seconds, which is a lot. It's a little much, but I'll take it.
Yeah, this being the only course aside from I think stage 4. Look up me wrong. That has a time limit. It's a decent time limit.
Yeah, it's fine. And speaking of Vegas, let's talk about that fucking rule change.
Okay, yeah, we're going to get into this. Okay. So, unlike previous seasons where you were required to finish stage 1 in order to move on to the next stage 2, now only the top 24 get to move on. Which means that if less than 24 ninjas finish this course, people who fail stage 1 can move on even though they don't deserve to. And if more than 25 competitors complete this course, then I'm pretty sure they were eliminated, though we don't see that, so I can hope that wasn't the case. But this is bullshit.
Yeah, this ruins all of Vegas. Like, this ruins all of Vegas!
That definitely came in on your mic.
Yeah, I know. I wanted to express my point. The fact that this ruins Vegas.
Like, you only need to slam your freaking table.
Yes, I did! This ruins Vegas. Like, there was no upside to this. Like, stage 2 shit, we'll get to it next week, but stage 2 shit I could have dealt with if this wasn't here. Like, why is this even here? There's no point.
Wait. Generally, I think the point is that to keep it to an even number, but honestly, you shouldn't have to worry about that. If that's the problem, then don't make stage 2 a race, people. Like, seriously, stage 2 was ruined by this waste format, and we'll get to that next week. But honestly, Vegas didn't need racing, and this top 24 thing completely ruins it entirely.
Yeah, like, seriously, what the hell, guys? Like, I don't think the producers understand what Vegas means. I think they just think it's some generic finals or generic game show number 1. No, this is Ninja Warrior, man. It's like, these are the grand finals. They should mean something. They don't mean much when, like, you can fail and still move on. Like, the big thing about Vegas is the fact that you have to hit a buzzer. Like, that's always been the big thing about it. That's why it's been so difficult for female competitors. It's been so difficult in general. Like, Vegas is Vegas because you can't move on with failing. You have to finish. And now that's not the case. If you time out, you're fine. Like, there's no stakes whatsoever. You get to the A obstacle, you're fine. Now, I mean, not everyone who failed at the Neo moved on, but a good chunk of them did. And none of them deserved it, by the way. Even some of the veterans who ended up moving on because of this. I don't think they deserved it either, because it just means, That's because, my God, my voice is getting so squeaky. I can't keep on going like this. Someone else take over.
Yeah, it's probably a good thing, actually.
Yeah, I would have went on forever about that because it left me so pissed.
Yeah, I don't know what I'm going to call this episode.
I'm calling it Operation Ruined Vegas. We got that locked in.
That's pretty good, actually. But, yeah, I don't think I have anything more to add. This is a dumb rule. It ruined stage 1 for me and ruined Vegas. I actually do have something to add, actually. I recently did a poll on my channel for you guys to vote in. And then I asked both, how did the community think of the stage 1 course, and what did they think of the rule? And as of now, 92 people have voted for the, as of now, about 78 people have voted for the, 8 people have voted for the stage 1, for the, dumb rule, the top 24 thing. And the unanimous, verdict is that either A, it ruined stage 1 in all of Vegas, or I'm annoyed, but I'll look past it. But then generally, it's the same answer, it's just I'm not as mad. I'm still mad, but not as mad. Yeah, that's my stance, but honestly, it's definitely up there. It's the dumbest thing ever. Like, I don't think the producers understand what Vegas technically is. Why were Vegas' stakes so high? What makes Vegas, the be-all end of all? Like, these last, I don't think season 14 felt so generic because, I don't think I really liked many of the courses in season 14. It kind of just felt like needless adding. I personally think they fixed stage 2 from season 13, but that's just me. Oh. Huh. I guess you have different opinions on that, but I don't know. It's really weird to me. Really weird to me. Yeah, it's bad.
Yeah, it's bad. It just ruins Vegas. I don't know how else to say it. It just ruins Vegas. We're still covering these episodes, and there's still a lot to enjoy about them. But honestly, this rule ruined it for me. Right here.
Yeah. This went so bad is that the copy of the episode we are going to be watching is an episode that I personally edited to remove any mention of this top 24 rule. And, if next season has the same format, which it definitely probably has to.
Oh yeah, it does. I guarantee you it does. I'd be shocked if it didn't.
Yeah, but if next season has this format, I do want to see what would happen if more than 24 finishes happens. It would be honestly quite nice to me. Just so we know that if this is even worse than we think, or if it's just kind of a limit kind of thing. But yeah.
Yeah, definitely for sure. One thing I will say about this as well is I really hope that there's some negative fan backlash on this too. I really hope that the fans agree with us that this kind of ruins Vegas, and I honestly do hope that season 17, if that films, ends up not having this rule and have it be back to normal, because it ruins Vegas. It ruins the whole thing. I think I can deal with stage 2 being a waste if you aren't forcing people to move on, even if they didn't hit a buzzer. It ruins the entire point, and we have been here for too long trying to illustrate that.
Yeah, we have been here for a while. I think at this point we should just get into the episode and get into the ones. Starting with Emily Gardner, and I don't think I have much to say about this one.
Yeah, it was. It's weird to say, but it felt like the most nothing one we could have started off the episode with. To me, that's what it feels like.
Yeah, she had a story about her and her boyfriend, Kevin Rodriguez, and it kind of just feels really weird.
Especially if they break up, because they've only been dating for 6 months.
Yeah, that'd be funnier. You have this whole segment on TV about how perfect you two are, then something comes up, and it's not happening anymore. It's not like I'm cheering for this, but it would be really ironic if this was the case.
Yeah, but hopefully that doesn't happen, but it is just something to point out, definitely. Emily definitely should have had more of a speed, definitely needed more pace. I guess she timed out on the gamble, and yeah, she really didn't have all that much speech. She was cheering herself on. She was dancing around. She was really not caring about the time, which I guess she wasn't really trying to clear, but she did say she wanted a buzzer, so they kind of can't have one without the other on stage one.
Yeah, no. After that, we had Joni Avila, who once again gets cursed on stage one with not only that placeholder introduction screen that's always used for filler and usually have a competitor fall on it, as it's almost always used for filler. He also fell on Thread the Needle.
Yeah, it would have been surprising, but I don't think Jody's a ninja that I would honestly be surprised if he fails all that early. Like, he's not really someone I really care or root for.
Yeah, after that, we had a fast-forward segment featuring, Emily's
Yeah, she's gay!
I said girlfriend. I almost said girlfriend.
Yeah, she gay.
Okay. Emily's girlfriend I got myself like, I don't know. Emily's boyfriend, Kevin Rodriguez. Well, he ended up going out on the gamble as well. And then we had Wiley Porter, who they ended up introducing as part of the Sweet 15, which is basically just a forced name for all the 15-year-olds who moved on to Vegas this season.
Yeah, it's not as bad as other situations where they force a name down our throats, but it's still like kind of annoying, kind of forced, but I think it's fine. It's fine. She had a really good run getting the Jumping Spider. Like, a pretty good run for your first time in Vegas.
Yeah, definitely, especially for women. After that, we had Benjamin Drake, who went on to had a wild flip out on the giant roller coaster. So it was interesting to see that. And then we had an amazing one from Vance Walker. Yeah, Vance had one of the best segments of the night. His vignette, just having him talk about how after the fail from last season, he traveled to Atlanta, and he traveled to Houston to train with Daniel Gill, and traveled to California to train with the Bergströms as well. Like, he upped his training routine, and he said this quote that I really want to highlight. He said, and I have 3 seasons to win it all. 1 to fuck it up, 1 to do it right, and 1 to win it all. And I find that really ironic because that's kind of is how Isaac Cordero did as well.
Yeah, if you want to think about it, if you want to compete it 3 times, he fucked it up in season 5, he did well in season 6, and then he won it all in season 7. Like, depending on how you look at it, that is exactly right, John.
Yeah, it was just a really entertaining segment to me. It was great to see Vance on the course. And despite Vance having a safety pass, he did not need it as he ended up quitting the course. And by the way, no one brought this up and I completely forgot about it earlier, but the safety pass is also kind of useless now.
Oh, yeah, it kind of is. Like, unless you fail on stage 1, you're avoiding it. Like, at least if it was used for stages 1 and 2, it was more likely for someone to have to use it to get the stage 3. Like, it was just, it seemed very unnecessary here.
Yeah, only one ninja ended up using it out of the entirety of Vegas. Everyone else avoided it, so made it even more worthless.
Yeah, exactly. I actually just felt like bringing that up.
Yeah, I just felt like it. But either way, this was the first queer of the night, Vance Walker, and it set the stage for many more queers to come. And honestly, again, like I said before, it's really good to see Vance.
Yeah, after him we had
Madeline Menderes in a fast-forward segment. Well, I don't think I have much to say.
Yeah, I'm with you on this one. There wasn't much to go on about this one. She went out on the giant roller coaster, not letting go of the bar on the first jump, and then falling. There wasn't much to this.
After that, we had Sebastian Quisimore from Ninja Jr., the Ghost Ninja. He got past that obstacle, but then got to the jumping spider and fell. Still nothing.
Yeah. And then we got Mrs. Casey Calanzaro 2.0 Sadie Zimmerman that I can't shut up about.
You really hate her.
I only hate what the editing is doing to her. Make sure people know that. But I honestly really hate how much the editing is popping her up when just like Casey, she had one fluke, really good performance, and everything else has been pretty bad. It's been pretty disappointing. She's had some good ones, don't get me wrong. It's not like she's terrible. It's not like she just falls early and gets unnecessary showtime by the show. But to me, it just feels like too much. I don't think she shouldn't be shown, but I also just think they show her too much, you know?
Yeah, definitely it. It feels like she's really the only mom that actually matters, which thankfully with this segment they do sort of highlight the other moms who have moved on to Vegas, which is a surprising 4, but yeah. Just wanted to, I guess you just wanted to point that out.
Yeah, it was something I thought of. She ended up falling on 3-wing circuits, a little bit surprising, but I don't think I really give a crap.
You're just rude to her, man.
I guess I'm not even going to park at.
But anyway, moving on. And after that, we had one of the most surprising fails of the episode, Elijah Browning, who had one of the more entertaining segments as well, along with Vance. Had another one of the most entertaining segments where he talked about his trip to Europe alongside Enzo D. Farley Wilson.
Yeah, this was a really good segment. It was actually decently edited together. It did a decent job of showing the highlights of the trip, and honestly, it made it look a lot of fun.
Yeah, they basically just said that they went... I don't think I have much else to say about it, but honestly, it was short enough to... It was just one segment.
Yeah, Elijah Browning had a decent run all the way through. I'm so glad that where he surprisingly enough fell there. Like, damn, I was not expecting that.
Yeah, and unfortunately, he just barely grabbed number 24 on that dumb leaderboard that shouldn't exist. So he still ended up moving on, even though he really didn't deserve to, but I guess it's still a great one.
Yeah, again, it's annoying, but we've already spent a while bitching about it. We should just move on.
Yeah. Anyway, after that, we had a fast forward segment featuring Kate Perkins, another rookie from this season, who went on the Jumping Spider, and then we had Rachel D. Guts, one of the Jersey girls, who ended up going on the Gambler.
Yeah, I think it was good to see her just because, she's now becoming one of the top ninjas, and I find it kind of, funny that, her and Abby Clark are mentioned, but Kayla Mack is completely forgotten as one of the members of the Jersey Girls just because she didn't compete this season.
Oh, yeah! They just show a poster with the girls, but Kayla Mack is not in there. It's pretty funny, actually. Except not really, but yeah, it was good to see Rachel D. Guts. She ended up falling on the gamble, like we just said. And then we had Hans Hutz as the next shown one. Well, unfortunately, he had another segment about his brother. We've done this beat 3 times. You're really making me feel like his brother is the only reason why this guy got picked up on the show.
Yeah, it's a little much. I get it, go on about the qualifiers, that's fine, everything, maybe not everyone's watched Ninja Junior, I get it, I'm pretty sure Hans was on a couple years ago, too, that's fine, everything. And this is something that I don't think everyone needs to know, but being ANW, it needs to be ANW, and, talk about it, then fine enough, but I don't think we need to go about it twice, this is literally no different from the last segment. And it just hits less beats, there's no point in this segment.
Yeah, Hans Hutz did have a good one, aside from that, though, becoming the night's second finisher, and having a pretty fast time as well. It was good to see, but again, it's a weird situation.
They just need to understand that we don't need to hear about his brother every single time he wins. It's like Katie Bone from last season with the whole diabetes thing. And great competitor, but ruined by the editing and how they keep on talking about the same thing over and over again.
Yeah, this entire thing has really made me think about some new categories for the Stage 5 Ninja Awards.
Oh man, I can't wait to announce that, man. Ooh, man!
Yeah, that is coming back this year. We're gonna be doing one for seasons 15 and 16, likely. But I have 2 new categories in my brain right now to really kind of just even out all this, basically everything that's been going on in the categories in general, so be on the lookout for that. That was really random.
Well, you thought of it, man, so here we are.
Yeah, I just wanted to bring that up because, look at all the bad ending, it's making me think about it, all the, all the rule changes, I think I have 2 brand new categories that I could fill out nominees for, and you guys will be seeing that when we talk about the Stage 5 Ninja Awards. In 5 weeks.
Yeah, it won't be long until we announce the winners, but generally speaking, it's going to be some time until we actually do it.
Yeah. But anyway, after Hans Hutz won, we had
Brett Sims in a fast forward segment.
Yeah, this is a really good one to see. It's always good to see veterans like Brett Sims on the course. He had a decent one. Unfortunately, getting tripped up by the gambler on the roulette wheel, but he was able to get past it. Ended up timing out on Thread the Needle. Honestly, Brett Sims is really cursed on stage 1 at this point.
Yeah, he really is poised to beat it. It's the second time he's timed out on stage 1. Like, it's pretty surprising.
Yeah, then we had even more surprising James McGrath, who had some ups and downs throughout the course. Yeah, he was able to defeat the Jumping Spider, which has gotten him the last 3 times he's been in Vegas. So, really amazing to see him get revenge on that finally. However, he ended up timing out on Thread the Needle as well,
Yeah, disappointing for the Beast, man. You can tell he really wanted to finish, but I'm just excited that he got the Jumping Spider-Man. This was his comeback here, and I would love to see him finish the course next year. Like, I would love to see it.
Definitely. After that, we had probably one of the bigger shocks of the night. Not as big because he's still moving on, but definitely a big shock. Flip Rodriguez.
Yeah, Flip, man. Flip had a decent segment, once again, talking about RJ Roman and going to RJ's gym and training with the young guns and just learning how to be a skill to stay on, improving as an athlete, which is good to see. And Flip had a decent run all the way to Thread the Needle. Well, just like the other 2 ninjas, he ended up falling. And god damn it. I mean, I wish I had more to say other than just it was a shock, and unfortunately, like, I know, like, it's kind of half good because, he's a veteran, it's good to see him moving on, but this is not the way I wanted to do it.
Yeah, this is also another thing with this top 24 rule. If one of these people, who did not complete stage 1, who moves on to stage 2, end up winning the entire show, it won't feel like they won. Like, even just to the audience, also to us, like next season when we see, let's just say Flip wins, okay? Next season we see Flip Rodriguez and it's like, he hit buzzers in the qualifiers in the city finals. He didn't on stage 1, but he hit buzzers on everyone else. Like, dude, it would feel so weird to have that one buzzer missing. And previously speaking, that would be a fail. Like, seriously. This is so weird.
Yeah, it's not okay. I really hope they fix this next year. I know it's not going to be fixed in season 16 because it was filmed in the same format. But season 17, there's no excuses, man. I want to see a full-on normal season for season 17. That means a whole bunch of new cities for us to see, like that Washington, D.C. stuff, like different qualifiers, maybe a power tower, or normal Vegas rules. I guess I don't mind wasting on stage 2, and I'd rather not be there. Like, honestly, I want a normal season again. Like, I miss that.
Yeah, I think ANW needs to understand that. Like, I guess it's a budgetary thing. I think that is the reason why they've been doing one qualifier, one semifinal. But honestly, to me, it's kind of just been ruining the fact that the courses all look the same.
Yeah, it's really hammering that down. Definitely, for sure. After that, we had another fast forward segment featuring Matt Domingo, another one of the biggest shocks of the night, falling on the giant roller coaster. I was not expecting that.
Yeah, no, the next competitor was also pretty shocking, that being Cam the Bomb Gunner, who also had an early exit, falling on the Jumping Spider.
Yeah, I feel like Cam's one definitely should have been shown, but it was just surprising, man. Like, Cam made all the way to stage 3 last year. Like, I was definitely expecting a repeat performance out of him, so pretty surprising.
Yeah, then we had probably one of the saddest ones of the night, but definitely amazing to see Barclay Stockett.
Yeah, Barclay, man. It just gets harder and harder. It just gets harder and harder with her. Like, to watch her do so well. All the passion is there. I love seeing her compete. It really sucks that, like, she keeps on getting tripped up by the clock. And here on the gambler, she just lost a lot of time. It was a tough obstacle, and her being small, she had to do a lot of things to make these big movements that were basically nothing for the competitors. And because of that, it slowed her down. And by the time, and she was just barely able to finish the gambler before timing out. Like, it's really disappointing.
Yeah, Balka's one of those ninjas to where, she's gotten close to the buzzer before. And I think everyone would love to see her clear. I think she's she's definitely on that list of ninjas who are poised to complete stage 1. Female ninjas, should say. That list is Table Green as of this recent performance we saw later in the episode. Bulkhead, like we just said, Tiana Webberly, Addie Herman, and Abby Clark. Those are the 5 I'm like, I could easily see any one of those people complete stage 1 if they put the effort in. And, yeah, I could definitely see it.
Yeah, definitely. 100%. All 5 of those are really good contenders. They've all made it above the warp wall at least once, and all of them, if they just crack down on that time, they'd be in a good spot to move on. They all have skills, almost everything. It's just a little bit of speed. It's always been the clock with the women, and honestly, I'd love to see it get beat next season. I would love to see it. It's unfortunate that it didn't happen this season, but it's fine. I don't think I'm mad about it.
Yeah. Anyway, after that we had Enzo DeFlurry Wilson as the next shown one. He ended up getting a buzzer and a pretty mellow one.
Yeah, not much to go on about. It didn't weigh up much in it, but Enzo had a decent time and was able to hit the buzzer. I wish I had more to say about this one because it was a really good one, but yeah, he just completed the course. Nothing really special aside from that.
Yeah, and after that we had Brandon Thomas in a fast forward segment.
Yeah, there wasn't really much about his one. He's a rookie. He did decently well, getting all the way to thread the needle. He unfortunately timed out.
Yeah, after that we had the stupid ass flying squirrel ninja Johnny Brown, who is just annoying.
Yeah, it's there. It's there. That's what it is. It's just there. It's all it is. It's just there. I wish I didn't want to say it, but it's just there.
Yeah, he ended up going out on the giant roller coaster. And then we had Bob Reese, who had, simultaneously the best and worst segment of the night.
Oh, yeah. That is interesting, actually. His story was kind of drawn out. The transitions were terrible. I'm annoyed at the fact that they were just using emojis for his transition. I get it, but I also just really hate it. But he actually did land a flip and then jumping spider like he said he would do last year, so it's just depends how you look at it.
Yeah. He ended up going out on Thread the Needle, so he still had a decent run. And if I'm being completely honest, it is still, even if, it wasn't a surprise this time around, it was pretty impressive. If I'm being completely honest, though, I think it would have been funnier if, we just didn't know going into it.
Yeah, especially last year. It would have been really shocking last year. I think it would be better if it was just, we want Toadie for him. It would have been really nice. I think with big surprises like that, we shouldn't be told going into it to expect it. With, what's it? The guy, fucking Donovan Matoya with the 360s on the warp wall. He didn't tell us he was doing that, but he did anyway, and it was a pretty big surprise. I think stuff like that shouldn't be told to us, and Bob Reese's flip on the jumping spider was something very similar to that. Especially because of last year. And this year it makes sense, he made an attempt at it last year, and he was not able to do it. So, it makes sense why they would build it up in this case, but in the case last year, it should have been a surprise.
Yeah, I don't remember if we said this when we covered the one last year, but it still wanes the truth. Yeah, anyway, after that we had Eric Zamano. Eric Zamorano. Oh.
Go back to that name again, huh?
I took one try to say it this time.
I know, I just felt like it.
I hate you guys. I hate you sometimes.
That's the point.
Friends are meant to hate friends. It's kind of just the dynamic with every friendship. Okay? A good dynamic. I don't know. And then every friendship,
we just bash on each other, insult each other. That's great. It's the best way to have some fun.
Yeah, Eric I don't know what this. Eric had a, I guess, decent one. He made the giant roller coaster when he ended up falling. And then we had Jonathan Page, who had a very mixed one as he ended up getting all the way to thread the needle where he ended up falling. But because of because of that stupid rule that doesn't need to exist, he went to stage 2.
Yeah, and yeah, yeah, I wish I had more to say if I wasn't gonna bug about that rule again.
We're just spending the entire episode just lingering on that.
Yes, and I will not stop, trying not to bitch about it. It's so hard for me not to because I don't think any of these people should be moving on. They really shouldn't be. Hit the buzzer, you're done. That's how the rules should work.
I mean, I agree. After that, we had the next shown one, that being Carson Williams, who just like Jonathan Page, had a decent one up till the Gambler where he lost time at the very end, and Carson was not able to complete thread the needle, and while yes, he was not one of the people to move on, still a little bit disappointed to see Carson go out there.
Yeah, it's unfortunately kind of typical for Carson. He isn't usually able to complete stage 1, so it's kind of unfortunate. After that, we had Isaiah Thomas, and I know he personally doesn't feel bad about this, but man, do I feel bad for him. That segment,
Yeah, Isaiah Thomas had a segment about his mom and how much he loves her and him being a mama's boy. I don't get it, but it's also just is this really what we're gonna focus on? I don't give a fuck. Accurate. Seriously, I get it to a certain degree, but I also just don't give a fuck.
yeah.
He ended up completing the course. I don't think I have any more notes on this one. Just the fact that they kept on going on about that is a little annoying.
Yeah, it's. I wish I had more to say. Yeah, it's. I wish I had more to say about it, honestly.
Yeah. Anyway, after that we had
Joseph Wouse in a fast forward segment.
Yeah, Joseph Wouse, he was a big ninja on ANW Junior in the last season, and he did pretty well here, getting all the way to the Gambler, where he lost a bunch of time, unfortunately, on the roulette particularly, and that ended up going out on the warp wall. Very similar to Barclay's one, actually, if I want to draw a similarity, a comparison.
Yeah, actually. It's a little unfortunate. Wouse is one of those ninjas I thought could probably finish the course here. He's a top dog. I feel like he reminds you of 11, top wall climber, heading in with a good rookie season. It's interesting to see. And again, Wouse is one of those ninjas that I don't want to promise, so I thought he might go farther.
Yeah, it seems like he does have some skills to go a little bit farther, but, the Gambler, it's a difficult obstacle. If you spin around, you could easily get screwed over and you're not even trying.
Yeah, I think that's exactly it, actually. What I'm thinking about now, it's just that's exactly it.
Yeah. Next up, we had Ethan Barnicki, who had the first clear to be fast-forwarded of the night. It wasn't really much of an interesting one. They just showed it, talked about it. Thankfully, it wasn't cut or anything. They were fine. After that, we had Emma Poella in the same fast-forward segment where she went on the Jumping Spider, an impressive one for her rookie season. And then we got Julissa Himka, who got a big story about just basically how she trains, about her relationship with her mother, how her mother was a gladiator. They're both very athletic, and athleticism runs in the family. It was honestly a decent segment, and I was honestly quite curious to see how Julissa would do in Vegas, considering the fact that she, took Jesse Graff out just to get here.
Yeah, you sound like you have a lot of hype. You had a lot of hype for her.
A little bit. Some anticipation here and there. It wasn't exactly yeah, best woman of the night, but it was there, there was some confidence there. Yeah, she ended up going out on the Gamble, not having much of a fast pace anywhere throughout the course, and basically was just running for the fun of it, but sometimes that's what you have to do. Yeah, like you just said, that's the funnest way to do it sometimes. After that, we had, honestly, one of the most pointless shown ones of the night, that being Bailey Boyd, who had a really boring segment about him being a father.
Yeah, he's one of those people people that I honestly don't even understand why he was propped up this season in the first place. Like, he's gotten a lot of showtime for him just being this stay-at-home father. Like, I don't always see a point in it.
Yeah. He went on the jumping spider, so it wasn't even an interesting one to really watch, really, either. So it just made it seem more pointless. After that, we had David White, the cake ninja, on the course. He went on the gambler. He went on the gambler.
After that, we had Ashley Bergstrom, the wife of Caleb Bergstrom. Her and Caleb being the first husband-wife duo in Vegas, which really wish that meant more.
Yeah.
I mean, not to fault Ashley, she's a great ninja, but it feels a little celebratory, I don't know.
Yeah, Ashley ended up going out surprisingly early at Three Ring Circus. After that, we had the next shown one, that being her husband Caleb, who had one of the who I think had the fastest time on night 1.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I don't think anyone beat him until night 2 came around. But he did really well. He made it all the way to the buzzer. Just really phenomenal one out of Caleb. I wish I had more to say about it, but it was just really good.
Yeah, after that, we had Kai Beckstranden. Man, talk about shock of the season.
Yeah, I mean, we have some bigger ones coming up here, especially going into stage 2, and even some stuff we haven't talked about yet in night 2 Circus Ant, but this is definitely one of the most shocking fails in night 1, and definitely of the season. Like, they actually edited this so you weren't expecting him to fail. Like, they were plopping him up. They were talking about how he was fast and wasting him on stage 2. Ironically enough, Kaden beat him in the semifinals race. But it was good to see, and honestly, I wasn't expecting Kai to go out this early. Like, it was not.
Yeah, I don't think we've mentioned it yet. He went out on the jumping spider, and it was just a big surprise. Like, there was no build up or anything. Nothing that really gave us a hint that he might go out early. Just, he was late enough. Like, yeah, it was just a big shock. Like, a big surprise. Yeah, so after that big shock, we had one last fast forward segment for night 1. That being Luke Dillon, who ended up completing the course with the slowest time of the season, meaning I think his one definitely should have been shown.
Oh yeah, I would have been down on the wire 1 for sure. Again, I think Luke Dillon was the slowest finish of the season.
Yeah, he was, so you're right, he honestly should have been shown.
Exactly. Like, no doubt.
Alright, but anyway, after that we have the final one of the night, of course, that being Joe Mawaski. And Joe Mawaski, it's Joe. What do you guys expect? It's Joe.
Yeah, he's a top ninja. It would be a really big shock if he did fail. And well, yes, he didn't have a stellar performance on stage 2, which we'll talk about next week. He on stage 1, he did just as well as he could ever do, hitting a buzzer. And yeah, it wasn't really much of a special one, but it was good to see Mawaski hit no buzzer. And apparently, it being his 30th, that's gotta mean something. Yeah, I mean, I don't really care personally, but
Yeah, the show makes a big deal about it. Apparently, Mawaski also has the most buzzers at any ANW competitor.
I get it. I think he's like the only ninja to hit 4 buzzers in 4 of his seasons. Like, he's really good. Like, he has an amazing consistency track record. I think right now, like, Caden is really the only person he's really, might be able to give him a run for his money. Like, Caden's about to beat his record for most stage 2 finishes, and Caden's already passing his own record for most stage 3 finishes as, he's the only ninja with 2 of them, and 2 in a row at that.
Yeah, like both him and Caden, they have some very reminiscent careers. Even just in the first 2 seasons, both him and Caden have been consistent. Both him and Caden have been fast. Both him and Caden have been propped up by the show a lot, and both of them were among the top 3 of the season. Mawaski, I believe, came 2nd place during ANW 5, and Caden was the last ninja standing. Like it's kind of crazy, but these two have surprisingly similar careers. Like, he's like, I don't know how, but yeah.
It's interesting to say. Like, it's interesting just to compare compare those two in like many settings.
Yeah, so that's night 1 of stage 1. Do you guys have any final thoughts on episode 11 before we move on to episode 12 and talk about the second half of stage 1? Any final thoughts on that?
I can't think of anything, not right now at least, but I think in general, like, if we do think of something while recording the second half of this, we'll probably just make it up then.
Yeah, no doubt. This is going to be a long episode, as we said, so we'll have some time. We'll have some time to talk about everything. Anyway, let's move on to the first runner of night 2 of stage 1, that being Scott Balance. And I'll give the show this. At least they're getting this overhyped competitor out of the way right at the beginning.
That doesn't really mean much when, like, they bring up the same thing when, like, his son Ben won later on. Like, it doesn't really mean much, dude.
I know, I'm just pointing it out for the sake of that, but Scott Balance, first one of the night, and he had a segment talking about how him and Ben Balance, his son, are the first father-son duo in Vegas, and again, to me, it really doesn't mean much, but the show's making a big deal out of it, so I guess it means something. Yeah, we guess. But, he had a pretty decent one, making it all the way to the gambler.
Yeah, one thing I do want to make about his one, and specifically, like, about the jumping spider, like, the jumping spider was freaking deadly this night. Like, it really had a knack for revenge or something like that.
Yeah, it was very slippery for a lot of ninjas. Scott Balance barely even made it in the shoot this time around. It had a couple slips while trying to make his way through it. But yeah, that was a very common thing this night. We saw it a lot more as we kept on going. And of course, we're definitely going to mention it most of the time that happens. But good point, because I don't know when we would have brought that up.
Exactly. I just want it, because this is not a thing in part 1. It's only a thing in part 2. So we gotta bring it up somehow.
Yeah. After Scott Balance, we have Taylor Johnson, the now shortest woman and shortest competitor ever to compete in Vegas. In her best season, she had a surprisingly good one for being the first woman to compete, getting all the way to the jumping spider, where we probably all knew she was going to fail, but she got really close to actually nailing it in there.
Yeah, I think it's pretty good that she was training for something for it, so I think it's cool that she almost made it. Even if she didn't, it was just really close. Like, I actually was a little impressed by how close she got to making it.
Yeah, after that we had a fast forward segment featuring Jonathan Godbout in one of the more shocking fails of the season, as Jonathan Godbout fell in the jumping spider as well.
Yeah, I find this really humorous because last year, the spider got both Vance Walker and Isaiah Thomas. Now it's got the other two from season 13 that did really well, Kai and Jonathan Godbout. Like, what the frick, man?
Yeah, it's pretty funny. After that, we had Grant Cunningham, who I don't think we mentioned this, but is actually the roommate of Daniel Gill.
We might have mentioned it. It's been a little bit since we recorded it, whenever he went last, so I don't know for sure. But yeah, he's the Ice Ninja, and he did pretty decently here, making out with the thread and the needle in the failing. And I don't have any notes about this one, as he did not end up moving on to do stage 2. And I wish I don't have to say that,
It's annoying.
Yeah, no shit it is.
After that, we had Daniel Gill, who became the first finisher of the night. And with that buzzer, he is tied with Brian Arnold for most consecutive stage 1 finishes at 6 in a row. Yeah, pretty impressive from Gill. It was really one-of-the-mill one. There wasn't really much to it. But it was a big deal, the fact that he hadn't failed stage 1, and he was surprisingly but thankfully enough able to keep this streak alive. And yeah, someone finally tied Brian Arnold's record.
Yeah, honestly, I can't wait to see who ends up beating that record, if he ends up beating that record next season. I want to see that record be toppled. It's stood for a while, but I think it'd be cool.
Yeah, definitely. After that, we had Vinny Castellova in a fast forward segment.
Yeah, Vinny, he's known for being, what's the word?
Did you forget the word plumber?
Yes, but 2 seconds!
I'm not even going to ask.
You shouldn't, okay? This is all me
I'll do it for you. Vinny Castrova, he is a plumber, and he is also a father. He showed did a general review on the course, showing that he's gonna get another goal. Goal by picking up a lead plunger. I don't think I have much else to say about it. If you were gonna go on about that,
I was going to mention it. It was the only reason why I was bringing it up, and I was like, "Fuck, what's the word for someone who plums?"
So you mean like the fruit, right?
No! Could you really not help yourself with that?
No, I couldn't. I mean, this is the dynamic here, just being assholes, being honest.
Oh god, that was not honesty, John. Just know that.
Oh god. Alright. Alright. Biddy, he ended up going out on the jumping spider, and after that we had Austin Hale, who went out on the gambler.
Yeah, then we had one of the more shocking fails of the night, that being Sean Bryan, who had a decent one up till the gambler, who he unfortunately could not make it past the roulette wheel and ended up falling on the final handhold, where he wasn't able to get both hands around. And yeah, Sean Bryan is once again out on stage 1.
Yeah, pretty surprising. I was thinking Sean would at least clear here and move on to stage 2. Yeah, very surprising and one of the more shocking fails of the season.
For sure, 100%. After that, we had Addie Herman, who had a really impressive one, but a really annoying and kind of cringe-worthy segment for me.
Right. She had a segment with her boyfriend, Noah Munio, and honestly, with them being so young, my brain only thinks about the fact that what if they break up? Like for whatever reason, like, what if they break up or have a divorce or whatever? Like, what is this segment gonna look like if that happens? Like, I'm sure Noah's a great person. I'm sure Abby's a good person. I'm sure they're great in the relationship and everything. But this kind of segment, it honestly just makes me think that way because I'm pretty sure they state later the two have only been dating for 6 months. Like, who knows how long this is going to last? Like, if they break up, like, ever, for whatever reason, then this is gonna be a permanent scar on that they can't remove.
Yeah, no, I was thinking with Unity, they just ended it out entirely.
Yeah, they just ended out the entire what?
I mean, you did it, so yeah, we're watching that version of the episode right now.
Okay, touche. Alright, moving on, Addie, like we said earlier, she had a really good one. She had a really good pace all the way through, up till the gambler. Well, yes, she had some hesitation here and there. She still had a really good one through it. It was definitely a lot speedier through it than Barclay was, during part 1. And honestly, Addie's one was really good. She still had a chance to clear if she was able to hurry, but unfortunately she didn't. She was stumped by the warp wall as she was not able to make it up it, unlike last year.
Yeah, so she ended up timing out once again. Unfortunately, she timed out on the warp wall, so she didn't get as far as last season. I believe she got the dipping birds last season, but yeah, still a really good one for her. If a woman gets past the spider, it's a really good one for them. So it's just the Addie Herman. I would love to see her clear stage 1. Like we said earlier in this episode, she's part of that list of like women, and I could see clear stage 1 at this point. And it's only really a matter of time.
Yeah, for sure. 100%. And the same with a lot of other women, especially ones we're going to talk about later on. Definitely. After that, we had her boyfriend, Noah Munio, who we just talked about. That was basically his segment that we just mentioned. Noah had a safety pass, but did not need to use it as he had a really good one all the way throughout stage 1. Not really much of a notable one, but he ended up clearing it and clearing the course. And that allowed us to move on to one of the most gutsy and honestly one of the most unfortunate ones of the episode and maybe even of the season when you really think about it. Najee Richardson.
Yeah, it's Najee's final ever one on ANW. At least, from what they've been telling us, Najee's gonna be retiring out this year, which is pretty unfortunate, but, I get it. Najee hasn't really been doing stellar lately. And he's also one of those ninjas. He says he's moving on with life. And honestly, he's getting older. He's has asthma. Like, it probably is for the best for his own body. Like, I'm not gonna fault him for something like that. If he just feels he can't do it anymore, that's completely fine. I mean, it's like Travis Rosen. Oh, he didn't exactly go out with a bang, but he also didn't have a bad season for his final season. I mean, it was just good to see one final while from a veteran, and that's the case here with Najee.
Yeah, Najee had a really good one up till the jumping spider, where we saw the first major signs of whatever happened to the obstacle in between the filmings of both episodes. Where Najee started to slip up at the end. He was able to make it through, but it started to tire him out after that. And he was eventually knocked up by the dipping birds after slowly but surely running out of time and not having the breath to really go anymore. So, yeah, unfortunately, Najee's final one ended not with a buzzer, but with the fail on the dipping birds. And he did not look good at coming off that starting platform.
Yeah.
Yeah, he ended up being fine, but, like, it was still, like, kind of unfortunate to see. It was kind of worrying, actually, now that I think about it. Yeah, like I said before, Najee's one is one of the most unfortunate ones we've seen in this season and in this episode, definitely. But, like, I'm just, like, again, like, really glad he got one last final hurrah. No complications. I mean, technically speaking, he did get an asthma attack that left him hospitalized before Vegas, but he still got to compete here, and he did it. He gave it his best. Like, honestly, it was just really good to see him. No matter the result, it's just good to see Najee do well on stage one, even if it's he didn't get a buzzer, but it was a decent one. And yeah, I think I've said everything I have to. It's just really good one. Just really good one.
Yeah, for sure. Anyway, after that we had
Max Feinberg in a fast forward segment.
Yep, Max. He had a decent one, making it all the way to the Gambler, but unfortunately he ended up going out right there, and that ended up being his first fail on stage one in his 3-year career. Honestly, to me, nothing more than just surprising. Like, not like I'm really shocked. I'm just a little surprised.
Yeah, it's only Max's track record. It was a little unexpected, but yeah, after that we had Alex Wimmer in that same fast forward segment. He made it a little bit farther than Max, going out on Thread the Needle, timing out. However, he ended up making it to the top 24, so as much as that rule doesn't need to exist, he is moving on because of that stupid rule.
We're gonna say that every single time, aren't we?
I mean, you don't want to let it go, so I ain't letting it go either. I mean, you went through the effort of ending it out of the episode. Yeah, no shit. Alright. After that, we had David Campbell in the next shown one. I was honestly surprised they showed Campbell.
Yeah, it was good to see him, though. It was still a good, gutsy one. Campbell made it all the way to the Gambler, where we had trouble, starting with the jumping spider, where he started slipping almost immediately, actually, and struggled through it. And that took out some of his energy in on the Gambler. He almost made it through, but was definitely going a little bit sluggish through it. And he ended up going out on the dismount, unfortunately, meaning, yeah, he's not moving on, which is really unfortunate. But Campbell's fine. Yeah, I like Campbell. I think it was good they at least gave him a full one, because it's not common that we see Campbell get full ones on stage one. Even in general, like, Campbell often just gets fast-forwarded.
Yeah, definitely. After that, we had probably the most down-to-the-wire finish we got to see doing this. It's not the slowest time we saw, but I was in a fast-forward. We'll talk about it later. But this is the most down-to-the-wire one we got fully shown, that being NASA Gilmore's one. Well, he's similar to David Campbell and a couple of those earlier, and I think we'll see later as well, had trouble on the jumping spider, once again not being able to lock his legs in. There's definitely something happened with the spider at this point.
I mean, I don't know what, but like, someone splashed or something, or whatever they used to clean it or whatever. Because like, the wall was just slippery, and again, this wasn't a thing on night one, so it's kind of interesting how so many of you had trouble with it on night two. Yeah, night one, people were fine with it.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, for sure. NASA, because of that time stop on the jumping spider, he ended up having to rush through the rest of the obstacles, and he did end up finishing, though had a couple extra things on Thread the Needle, but like I just said, he finished the course, ended up moving on with the second slowest time on stage one. Still, really good one.
Yeah, pretty impressive, honestly. I like how he was able to recover. Just really good to see.
Yeah, after that we had Jeremiah Boyd, who did pretty well, did pretty well on the gamble. He lost a bunch of time after falling onto the roulette. However, he was able to recover and finish the course with 17 seconds left. Surprisingly high considering what happened, but yeah, good to see.
Yeah, Jeremiah, he's one of those ninjas that, like, I don't really think I have much expectations for. Like, I know he's a Ninja Junior and everything, but, like, I don't really have, like, huge, hopes for him, but it's still a good ninja.
Yeah, I mean, you went on about that, but you got a point. It's again, like, so many of these teenagers, they're doing really well as expected. So honestly, there isn't really much to say about them, but it's still good to see them do well and still be able to accomplish their dreams. And that we had Josiah Papel in that same fast forward segment where he ended up hitting the buzzer and becoming a nice next finisher. Honestly, not a notable one, but still good to see him hit the buzzer as well. He's one of those top veterans, so yeah.
Yeah, after that we had Kyle Soderman, who ended up getting taken out by Thread the Needle, unfortunately, almost completing the course. And he ended up moving on because of that dumb rule.
Yeah. After him, we had probably the most pointless of all the shown ones in this episode, like Foley shown. We had Calissa Morris, who, honestly, I don't understand why they bothered showing her whole one.
Yeah, she had a really boring segment of being a mother, and we just had this whole spiel with Sandy Zimmerman last episode, and just like with Sandy, she also fell on Three-Wing Circus. So that is kind of just why I'm like, why did we show this? It felt like wasted time in the episode. Like, I'm glad they showed her, but showing her, just showing her full one where you could have showed someone else, like Luke Dillon coming up later who had the slowest time on stage one or something like that. Like, there were a lot of ninjas you could have shown, and they would have been a better choice, probably, but they chose this one because she had a really boring segment. I really don't know why at this point.
Anything they could do editing with, they're going to show.
I mean, I guess. You're not wrong. Alright, fair.
After that, we had R.J. Roman. R.J. Roman, he had a really good run, making it all until he had a really good run with a really fast pace. However, he ended up being taken out by Thread the Needle.
Yeah, there was this big thing about RJ possibly not making it and having to use the safety pass, which, if he hadn't needed to, I would have been kind of pissed about that, but he was just barely pushed out, meaning that he did have to run for a second time around, where he completed the course pretty easily, and yeah, I don't think I have much to say about either one. It was just kind of surprising that he fell in for the needle, but it kind of does make sense considering his struggle with fly hooks on season 13. And he ended up completing it in the safety pass one. So, yeah, aside from the editing stuff and aside from the fact that rule almost dictated him not having to run, still really good.
Yeah, definitely, for sure. It's a little iffy, but we can let it slide at this point.
We have to, because I'm already annoyed about it, but, we gotta keep on going. We gotta speed this up.
Alright. Anyway, after that, we had Maggie Owen in a fast forward segment.
Yeah, Maggie, she's one of the proteges of Jesse Flex the Black, who is once again on the silence for one, and also still hasn't given her excuse for why she isn't competing this season.
Yeah, it's really weird. She's here in Vegas, so I'm gonna guess she competed on season 16, maybe, but still, it seems really weird to me. They still haven't given LeBlanc an excuse, and she looks fine. So why the fuck isn't she competing?
Yeah, we mentioned this every time. Like, if they don't give an excuse, then we'll go on and bring it up.
Yeah, Owen had a pretty disappointing one going out on the giant roller coaster. I'm pretty sure that was even going out on the giant roller coaster. After that, we had Mike Salenzi, who also had a pretty surprising fail on the Gambler. And then we had Jackson Tweet as the next shown one, though the fail was a mid one.
Yeah, Twait, he was one of the, he was the slowest clear last season, and he had a lot more time this time, and yeah, he was able to clear the course with 20 seconds left, like, pretty good.
Yeah, Nothing. I don't really have anything else to say about this one.
Yeah, it was not much of anything. After that, we had Maddie Howard, who honestly didn't have the worst one in the world. Like, I actually did thought it was kind of entertaining.
Okay, that is the most twisted compliment. Okay, I think that is the most twisted compliment I think I've heard from you.
Okay.
It just doesn't sound like a compliment to me. I don't know why.
Okay, I guess. Alright, I'll cope. Maybe it doesn't from a certain point of view. But yeah, she ended up going out on the jumping spider. They ended up making this big deal out of the fact that she had never completed the third obstacle, which I guess is a thing too.
Yeah, and just to know, Wager the Guts had the same thing going on, and she got no fanfare over that. Just saying.
Oh yeah.
Just saying.
Yeah, just bring it up.
After that, we had a fast forward set featuring Ramses Valdez, who had a decent one, but not a fast one, as he was running out of time getting through the obstacles. He made it all the way to third. Dino would end up getting taken out by the obstacle, but he was really rushing at that point, and yeah, he ended up falling.
After that, we had one of the most surprising fails, Cal Horse, who, in addition to having a one-handed save on the gambler, was unfortunately taken out by the dipping birds.
Yeah, Cal was honestly one of those people that I was so sure was going to clear the course this season. He was big on Ninja Junior. He's done decent during the last 2 seasons. Like, I have some confidence that he just hasn't had a lot of untapped potential recently. So to see him fall on stage 1 was just a little bit surprising. That's all.
Yeah. After that, we had Janique Lovette, who was the third and final mom to win the course, and she ended up going on a 3-ring circus. But a lot of people knows the fact that 3 out of the 4 moms went out on 3-ring circus, and they were the obstacle's only victims.
Oh, yeah.
Isn't that right? Isn't that funny? Isn't that great?
In hindsight, yeah. Honestly surprising.
Yeah, definitely. 100%. After that, we had Ben Barons, this next shown one. This one, like we mentioned with Scott at the beginning of part 2, it was all about the fact that he was a part of the first father-son duo. He did really well. His one was gutsy. He ended up timing out after reaching the cargo net. So he did end up moving on because of that stupid rule. And it was still a really impressive one. Like, no doubt about that. Like, even if he timed out, even if he didn't deserve to move on because of the dumb rule, still, like, it does deny and under-promote that really good one from Ben.
Yeah, definitely speaking, I could see him actually calling the course next year. Or next season, I should say, because season 16 isn't being filmed next year.
Yeah, no, it's not. Which, again, questions a lot of things, but we talk about another time.
Yeah. Moving on. After that, we had
Austin Gray in the fast forward segment.
Yep, he had a really decent one, getting all the way to the buzzer with 10 seconds, with 11 seconds to spare. Honestly, I kind of wish I had more to say about it. Yeah, really good. I'm glad to see Austin got revenge on the 5th obstacle and is moved on to stage 2. After that, we had Nate Hansen, who had, once again, to similar to many others tonight, ended up having a really surprising fail on the Gambler, where similar to Sean Bryan, he was not able to make the really long jump over to the final handhold, but he came really close. He truly put us all into that jump, so honestly, it was pretty surprising.
Yeah, and then we had probably the most hype one of the night for me, personally, Taylor Green.
Yeah, Taylor. Definitely a hype one, like Crystal just said. Really good to see Taylor. She definitely has the endurance for stage 1. She definitely has the skills for it. I have no doubts that she could definitely complete it. In the next season. Yeah, for sure. I mean, Taylor, she had everything go right in her one. The only thing that really went wrong was a little bit of a slow pace in the jumping spider and a bit on the gamble as well. But after she got off that, she turned on the jets, She was trying to make up time. And she may have to warp on one shot. Like, it's not like she can't hurry. So, honestly, if she just maybe adds a little bit more speed to this one and not fail on the dipping boards, like, she'd be golden. Like, 100%. She is definitely, like, on that list of women who can definitely finish, and there was very good reason for that.
Yeah, if we didn't already mention it, she went out on the dipping boards. Just amazing one. Top woman of the year. Like, crazy. Like, to me, it's kind of crazy how good she did this season.
Yeah, after that we had the final fast forward segment of the night, that being Isaiah Wakeham who unfortunately went on, thread the needle, and just barely missed the cut of the dumb wool, meaning that he did not end up moving on.
Yep, after that we had Evan Andrews, who ended up finally beating Kayla Bergstrom from last episode for the fastest time on stage 1. And after that, we had Caden Latsak beating the final normally seen 1, where he ended up beating Evan Andrews' 1 for the fastest time by 0.4. Bravo, man. That was impressive.
Yeah, Caden, he had a safety pass going into it. So, honestly, good for him. Good for him. He didn't even have to use it. And honestly, it would have been useful going into stage 2. Like, he would have probably made it to stage 4 if the rules weren't changed.
Oh, frick yeah, because, spoiler alert, I guess, but spoiler alert, I guess, but Caden was knocked out on stage 2. But if the safety pass worked the way it usually does, he would have gotten another shot and probably most definitely would have moved on.
Yeah, so, a little bit unfortunate he can't use safety pass on stage 2, but I guess we'll talk about his 1 next week. Next time when we cover stage 2, as he on stage 1, fastest time of the night. I guess we jumped off on a tangent there.
Yeah, I blame myself for that one, but yeah, and he was the final winner on stage 1.
Yeah, the final shown one was OJ Roman's second one, really agreeing the course as we mentioned earlier. And that just leaves a couple more things to address regarding stage 1, including the 2 cut ones, which, guys, I am very impressed with this.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like the fact that, we only had 2 cut ones and they were both nobodies who fell on the jumping spider. Like, those are the people, like, if you're gonna cut people, pick people who we don't give a shit about. Like, we got Evan Bomber Jen and Cyrus Snyder, who, like we just said, both fell on the jumping spider. Like, honestly, it's not good to cut ninjas, but this is probably the best compromise with the fact, unlike last year, we had like 20 of them, I think. This time around, we had only 2, and again, we didn't really know who they were, so if you're gonna cut anyone, good choices here, at least if anything. Yeah, it's not complimenting the show on cutting ninjas, it's just the fact of the choices, and then, it didn't really harm the episodes in any way. There were no big name veterans who had surprising fails or anything, just 2 random people, like, that's fine.
Yeah, 2 more things to know. We also had 2 competitors who ended up having to withdraw during this season, those both being big name veterans, and Tyler Yamauchi, who ended up having a scheduling conflict, ended up having to withdraw from the competition. Makes sense. Last season, Tyler had a story about him talking about his family heritage and how he tries to follow that to the best of his ability, so it makes some sense. And then we had Jay Lewis, who, as of recently, is going back to Ninja. I saw him at Ninja Academy a couple weeks back, and he did have an ankle bracelet, so he hurt his ankle, and I can certainly relate hurting my own ankle earlier this year.
Oh yeah, so Jay ended up having to withdraw from the competition. Pretty disappointing. Jay is. I just wasn't expecting. I was just expecting Jay to go far this season. So a little unfortunate that he got injured and was not able to keep on going and do well in Vegas. But hopefully he does well doing whatever the next season is. If it's next year or the year after, whatever. Jay Lewis, I cannot wait to see how you do, man.
Yeah, I don't think I have anything else to note. Yes, anything?
Yeah, that's stage 2. That's stage 1. We're finally done! Woo!
Yep, so, we're 30 minutes into covering night 2 of stage 1. I mean, this video is going to be very long.
Yeah, Probably the longest episode of the podcast.
Yeah, no doubt. I highly doubt I'm going to cut out like 6. I highly doubt I'm going to be cutting out 6 minutes of this, but who knows? This episode was a lot of fun to film with you guys, and despite all grievances with the stage 1, it was still pretty decent.
Yeah, it was fun to watch. The obstacle lineup was pretty good this season. It was just that one stupid rule, man. Like, it ruined the entire thing. And good news, stage 2 has a whole lot of that shit, too.
Yeah, it's kind of unfortunate that that's the case. As of recording this, the finale has not aired yet. It's airing tomorrow. So, it's airing tomorrow. As we chop this up into 2 different sessions. And then, unfortunately, it kind of just ruined it for me. Like, I get it, though, and honestly, in hindsight, this is still a fun stage 1. It's still a really good course. If you can ignore that, it's still a really good course. But it kind of just ruined Vegas. I really do hope people are complaining about this. I really do hope that for season 17, ANW sees the errors of the ways and goes to a little more of a normalized season, because I feel like that's what they need to do at this point.
Yeah, for sure. Like, honestly, to me, I feel like this season, like, it was trying way too hard to be influential and be different with the whole racing format. And stage 1 definitely got hurt because of that, because of the way they decided to alter the rules, and again, it ruined the entirety of Vegas as well. So, honestly, really surprising to me, and really annoying too. It affected the whole course for me, and yeah, I don't think I have anything more to say about it, except we'll see you guys next time.
Yeah, next time we're going to be covering stage 2. That's the first half of next episode. And then the week after, we are covering stages 3 and 4, all in one. Yeah, it would have been a different structure there, but that's generally just so we can get an episode out on stage 2 quickly and catch up relatively quickly, but, by the time we release this, who knows how far the show's going to be long.
Yeah, hopefully we get out before the finale comes out at this point. Recently as of now, the stages 2 and 3, he recently just aired, so hopefully we are able to get this out by the time next week comes around and the finale airs, but if we don't, then we don't, and you guys are just gonna have to wait a little longer, and that's okay. Hey, we take our time and we film when we want to, so I'm sure you guys are probably going to be okay with that, regardless of the fact.
Yeah, for sure. And, on that note, like we just said, that is it for this episode of the Ninja Warrior Podcast. Peace.